Today we are going to be sending up these two pillars here to finish off the bay. Once we've done that, I'm going to be hopping inside and sending up all the block work on these small pillars. They've got loads and loads of cuts, so I've had Drew going ahead of me doing all of the cuts. Tomorrow we've got the scaffolding going up to the next lift, so hopefully we'll be able to start loading out the scaffold tomorrow afternoon. But for now, we're going to carry on doing all of these pillars and then we'll check in a little bit. Right, it's just gone about 11 o'clock. Current temperature is about 26 degrees. I've very smartly decided to wear black today, but the t-shirt will be coming off because look at that crazy tan line. And I'm going on holiday to Italy in like 2 weeks, so I need to make sure this is all even for those nice Italian ladies. Putting in 225mm worth of insulation, so that covers that entire block. We're doing this below our finished floor level, just to make sure that we have no cold spots on the floor. Insulation on a hot day is terrible. Right now, we are setting out the bay. What I've done is I've cut some blocks at the angle of my squint bricks and I'm just throwing out ties. Whenever I've had to do angled block work like this is what I always do. It's really hard to try and maintain strength when you have blocks cut like this, so I like to throw ties out. It just works better and it's quicker and easier. Drew is working over here. He's just set out the first course. He's set out his tray and it looks like he's just about to start lapping over the tray on the second course. I've double checked the cavity, plumb, level, everything's bang on. Very impressed, Drew, very impressed. I'm gonna carry on working on the bay. Drew's gonna continue sending that up and then we're gonna start running in. This is gonna be quite slow only because every course we are gonna be putting ties either side of our steel to make sure it's nice and strong. Something I like to do when I build small brickwork pillars like this, whether it's brickwork, blockwork, if it's under about 1200, I put ties every 225. It's a bit excessive, but if it was my extension, I'd want loads of ties in these small pillars. We do have a steel, obviously supporting the brickwork as well, but the more the merrier. Just a couple of things for any apprentices out there who are starting their block work. Obviously, Drew is doing a pretty decent job, but there's a few things to bear in mind. First thing is keeping your block work level engaged with your brickwork. You can measure your block work, 225, 450, so on, so on. A quicker and easier way to do it, as long as your brickwork is gauged, as soon as you lay a block, you can put your trowel up against the back of your brickwork, and if it's touching the top of your brick, you should be gauged. So that's a nice, easy way to keep control of your height. Secondly is tolerances with block work. What you find, especially with apprentices, that they'll try and get everything millimetre perfect, but they'll end up picking up a block 3-4 times to relay it because it's a millimetre or so out. I'm not calling you out, Drew, but Drew's laid this 2 or 3 times now, okay? And as you can see, it is slightly low on the level. This block here he's laid is level. If I put my hand on this block, you can see we are almost bang on, right? We're a tiny bit hard. But the difference is almost a blade of a trowel. So there is really no need to pick this up for a 4th or 5th time. What we'll do is we'll just have a slightly bigger bed on the next course. And then when we go over it, we'll make sure we are level. I encourage you to make sure everything is bang on, but with block work there are tolerances, and as long as you're aware of what you can get over with your next course of block work, you should be fine. With brickwork, it's a totally different kettle of fish. You pretty much want everything to be bang on. While we're talking about gauge, obviously here on my corner, I've just been following my brickwork, so on, so on, so on. Now, once you're above your brickwork, it's hard to keep track of gauge. You can throw a level on top of your block work and then just measure down to your brickwork to check if your gauge. Right now, you can see that I am 600mm. My block works gauge My brickworks gauge, everything is working perfectly. So that's another way to keep track of your gauge. Little tip for anyone, we've just had break, we've just had 5 minutes. What I like to do before a half break, especially when it's hot like this, I cover my compo in water and then wrap it with some plastic or whatever. It just makes sure that it doesn't dry out too quick. That's where we're wrapping up for today. We're just checking Drew's block work. Come in close, Drew. Show the people. Show the people, look at it. Like I say, he's not done loads, but it is absolutely bang on. You're putting me to shame, Drew, which is ever so naughty. I've wrapped up the bay, done all of my angled cuts. There's ties in every single joint, so nice and strong, nice and secure. It's about 10 to 4, and that's where we're pretty much wrapping up for today because it's just way too hot. So I've just had a chat with Drew. We've got to try and get here a bit earlier tomorrow morning. Now, we've been getting here for about 10 past 8 every single day because the job is on the opposite side of Nottingham and I'm on the opposite side of Derby, so it's about 29 miles. And I'm also having to pick Drew up. Tomorrow we're going to try and get here for about 7:30 or maybe 7 o'clock, but it means me getting up about 5:30, which I don't really want to do. But if it means that we get to go home slightly earlier, that's what we're going to do. Anyway, tomorrow morning. Normally on a red hot day like today, usually just go home and sit in a cold dark room, but it's that nice I'm actually going to the pub even though I am burnt to absolute hell. So make sure you wear your suntan lotion, lad. Nice early start today. Drew and I were here proper early, about 10 to 7. This morning we have really been cracking on. I finished off the bay and sent that block work up, which is pretty decent. Drew also sent up his block work and it's surprisingly bang on. And I say surprisingly because he did have to overcome a few small issues. I'm just going to really briefly touch on them now so any apprentice watching can learn. The level work is perfect in terms of plumb, but the level work across he was slightly struggling with. He ended up crashing down, so we had to pick up. Now, he had to pick up about 15 mil and he tried to do it all in one course. Trying to do that with concrete blocks is quite hard. So I just told him to bed up 2 to 3 mil each course, and he was able to get it bang on. So just watch that when you're laying blocks, apprentices. Thought I'd bring the drawings in just to show you the detail the structural engineer or whoever is after. As you can see, we have 3 slip ties every 450 connecting to these steel posts. So we've got one going into the brickwork, as you can see, and then we're going to have one either side connecting the blockwork. Now the drawing says 450, I'm going to put it every 225 just for that stronger bond.
Yeah, let's see about this last thing.
What day is it? Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, and we are back on the job. We wrapped up about 1 o'clock. The scaffolders came, so we were just in their way. Drew was on the trowel loads, and he is coming on tremendously. It's pretty good. It's pretty flat. It's extremely plumb, which is really good. I know he's been following a line. Obviously, it's always hard, especially when you pick up the trowel for the first time, to lay these 7 Newton concrete blocks. It is difficult, and he is getting there, so I'm really happy. Briefly, yesterday, I mentioned these steel pillars and how we're putting in ties every 225 rather than 450, which has been suggested by the drawing. Now, doubling up on the amount of ties in these small pillars does increase the amount of cold spots in this wall. But my argument is this was meant to be a floor to ceiling window, but the clients changed their mind and want a bifolding door there and there. So if you have a 3-panel bifolding door here, you're going to have a tremendous amount of weight just on this pillar alone and that's why I decided to double up. Open and close a bifolding door multiple times. Not only do you have a lot of weight, but vibration and things like that. There's only a course of block going on top of this lintel as well, so the anchor point for that bifolding door won't be so great. Extra ties for extra strength. So since the scaffold has gone up, we need to get it loaded out. We've got about 500 bricks to get down that far alleyway. Drew and I are going to start chaining up all these bricks. So we'll catch you when we're about loaded out and ready to rock and roll. Attacking the day, that's how Drew and I have started. 20 past 10, we've bumped out 500 bricks down this alleyway. Chaining them up, it's so much quicker than using a hod. I've helped Drew get out 5 mixers. Yeah. On all of these spots, and now we're going to work together as a team to start building up this wall. We've got 9 more courses to go on because he's done so well over there. Just trying to invest a bit more time into Drew. His organisation skills are getting there, and that's why I'm helping him out today, just getting all the compo, because it's a trek from the mixer up onto the ladder and round here. You saw from the time lapse yesterday, I had to keep stopping and making sure that he's doing everything right. As time goes on, when he's on the trowel more, he'll get better and need less help. So a bit of investment now, hopefully we'll get there. And he's also mentioned an MVQ level 2, and I found him a website, and you're able to do all of your assessment and things like that on site. It's an on-site assessment. It's what I did for my level 2. Five to 3, and we are just using up the last bit of compo for today. Tomorrow we should be doing a bit more filming. Like I say, Drew has done really well today. A few little issues he had to overcome, but nothing major at all. But I'll go over them a little bit more tomorrow for you apprentices and improvers out there, so you might be able to learn from his mistakes, what we've all made, but nothing major. Overall, good, decent day. About 600 bricks down. Massive load out this morning. But now, that's the last bit of compo used. We're going home. Sound. I need to get to the ladder, which is this way. See you later. I best point it as well. What a clan. Good bit of teamwork by Drew and I this morning, getting all the bricks up. We've had a big load out down this tight alleyway. Had to make a few alterations, but nothing too major. As long as I stand on 9 inches worth of board, we should be safe. Because of how tight this alleyway is, we've had to elevate our spots using our Rhino build profiles, which luckily for us are about 2.4 meters high. So we've got all of our spots elevated. That spot there, I don't know how it's staying, but luckily it is. This morning I've stuck Drew straight on the trowel. He's really getting the hang of it. Like I said yesterday, there's a few things I'm going to go over with him today and explain to any apprentices watching. But for now, we're going to finish our cup of coffee and then we're going to get stuck in for the day. Sick. Kind of let you loose on the trowel now. Kind of getting used to spreading a little bit difficult for you still, but we need to start fine tuning your brickwork, okay? So obviously you've had 3 days now on the trowel doing bits and bobs, just getting used to the trowel feel, but now we need to start fine tuning. So there's a couple of things, okay, what we want to work on together to get you better now, okay? The first thing I saw was when you put the brick down, you were kind of just your hand was just so in the way of the line, okay? Hand goes down like this, okay? Look at my thumb. Thumb retracts. There we go, okay? And then my hand, 1, 2, 3, I've got 3 fingers on the back of my brick supporting it, okay? That's guiding the brick. It's either doing that or it's doing that. All the control is coming from these 3 fingers, okay? So support, straight. Your thumb straight away. The way you were laying, you had your whole hand there, okay? It's easy to control a brick like that, but you're not really guiding it down to where you want to be. So a finger placement like that is solid and it's secure. Next single saw, okay, I'm not going in at you, but like I say, I want to fine tune you now. You had your hand here and you was tapping there, and then you were coming across your hand and tapping there. I mean, first of all, that's really dangerous, okay? And if ideally, we don't want to be tapping bricks, but if you are going to tap, we tap with that part, okay? So I've laid the brick, hand comes away slightly, I'm going to tap with that, okay? Same goes here, tap, tap. You don't have much control over your trowel when you're tapping like that, okay? Just an example again for you. This is all about just getting you better now, okay? Watch my finger placement. Away, scrape. If I was going to tap, which ideally you don't want to, tap, 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 tap. That's it, okay? Because if you get all of this basic stuff down, you'll then be able to go to a corner and start building that. But if you can't lay a brick to the line correctly and easily, what's the point of sticking you on a corner? I was on the shovel for 4 years, and then I pointed for about a year, and then one day I just picked up a trowel, thrashed my boss down the line. I was like, get out my way. Izzy the Bricky was born. I tell you what's more important than bricklaying. What? Not getting skin cancer. And that's just a fact. This t-shirt's getting smaller and smaller. Maybe because I'm getting bigger and bigger. We're working on building this up to our lintel height. Now, normally lintel height is 2100, however, on this job it's slightly higher because we are using the original window, what was on the original house. We're having our lintel height slightly higher, roughly 2 meters 300 from our finished floor level. So that doesn't quite work gauge. So what we're going to end up doing is having a small clapping strip above the window. So when we set our lintel on to the closest, highest brick, everything will look in keep. And it'll end up looking just like that window you see over there. Oh my God, I am proper burned. Yesterday you might have noticed Drew and I dipping our bricks in this water and then laying them. Now the reason is these bricks are so dry and so dusty, and Drew's been struggling with this as well. As soon as you put your bed joint down, by the time you've messed with it and scraped it and you try and lay it, especially on these bricks here, you can't get it down because it's gone off straight away. So saturating the brick ever so slightly before you lay it just allows you to get it down that bit easier. So you can see here, nice wet brick will scooch down easier than a dry one. There we go, there's a dry one. Straight away the bed's going off, so it's always good. We always try and keep our bricks dry in winter, but when summer comes round and you're dealing with these really dusty dry ones, it's good to just whack a hose pipe on them or just run round with a bucket of water like some sort of lunatic. Like I said yesterday, we've been getting here a lot earlier, still doing a solid full day shift, and then just going that bit earlier. So I'm going to point this and we're going to catch you tomorrow morning bright and early. What I've realised over the last week or so is focusing on teamwork, helping Drew bump out in the morning, helping him mix up and get compo onto the spot, is allowing him loads more time to be on the trowel. I think as a bricklayer, you can get quite lazy, just constantly focusing on laying bricks. And it only sets me back by about 20 minutes because when you work together, you work quicker. Today, we're gonna be throwing up this brickwork here, and then we're gonna come all the way down here building these little pillars. There's only 60 bricks in each one. They are a bit fiddly and they are on the face side of the existing house, so they are going to be seen, but Drew is still going to be on the trowel blasting them in, but I'm just going to keep a very close eye because we really want them looking bang on. Don't think too much, it's really simple. Again, level all the way down when we plumb. When you lay a brick, you can't plumb from the top one. We're plumbing the entire panel, okay? I'm not like interfering, I want to help. Hold the level like you mean it, okay, as well, don't be so ginger with it. Now this is a really small return, and something like this was what I was put on when I was an apprentice. The rule of thumb was, I had to build my return back up for the main bricklayer so he could just constantly run in, and that's what I'm trying to get Drew to do right now. So he's been using this level, but there's a few things I want to go over. Level work, that way. Ideally, you want to use a small level for the first couple of courses, then as soon as you've surpassed 3 bricks out that way and that way, you're going to start using your 4-foot level because you just get a better range from this area to that area. There's no point putting your level over here and leveling this 1 brick, because what's that in relation to? You need to take it all the way back to your lead brick, put a tiny bit of weight on it, make sure everything's touching. You were doing this earlier, weren't you? You're plumbing every brick like that. That's no good. You want to take your level to the base of your corner. There we go. You want to take the overall plumb, okay? There's no point trying to plumb every single individual brick. With these bricks, F1's different. You'll end up with a naff out of plumb wall. We're about to set the first lintel on the job, but before we do that, I want to do the old plumb test on this return. This is something my old boss used to do to me, Drew. He used to come around the corner and check my work for plumb, and if it wasn't, he'd kick it down and scream at me. But luckily for you, I'm not like that, and your work's pretty bang on. So well done. Now, hopefully, oh yeah, if you got it up on your own, I'll be able to put it on my own. Go on, Isaac. No. You hold that camera, boy. Pause. Oh, done, all on my own. First lintel on the job, which is really good to see. We'll check it for level. Come check that out, Drew. I mean, you'd think we've done this before, wouldn't you? You'd think we'd get paid for doing this. We've been getting stuck in over the last hour and a half. I've built 2 pillars. We also took delivery of the final ridge beam. Now the ridge beam, when we initially got it, was 50 mil too short. Because there's a step back on the original building, that wasn't taken into account. But we've been able to take it back to the fabricators, and they've actually welded on an extra 50 mil for us. So that's going to sit on our blockwork gable over there really nicely, 100 mil bearing, which is ideal. We're sending up this final pillar before I finish off that one over there. Now, what I like to do with these pillars, I know I spoke about this not long ago, is just whack 2 profiles either end. It just saves an extra plumbing point, which takes a bit longer. I'm using these. These are my brand new Rhino Build profiles. I've also got my Rhino Build stands and mortarboards. I've got all the Rhino Build gear, and I also have a discount code, Izzy10, for any Rhino Build products on their website. So if you want to save 10%, go ahead and use it. It is their only discount code on their website, and I really highly recommend these stands. Before, Drew and I used to carry around 4 blocks, which is about 80 kilos if we're using these 7 Newtons, and it's just a pain. So these are a massive back saver and time saver. where we're going to be leaving it for this week's video. Overall, I'm really pleased with the progress made this week, not only on the extension, whamming up the big walls, all the block work, the bay, the lintels, these pillars, but mainly Drew's progress this week regarding his bricklaying. He is coming on and it's brilliant to see. I'm really excited to see what the next couple of months is going to hold for him as he's getting more used to the trowel, building corners and actually just getting bricks down to the line. Catch you next week when we are putting on the final bit of splits, setting the steel, building the gable, sitting on the wall plate, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, looking for a new job. Yeah, it looks blooded. Cool, yes. 2 pairs of sunglasses, that's how cool I am. What a dick. Steels on, block on, ready for wall plate, splits on, lintels on with a course higher, gable built, patch stone built, brickwork almost there. It's been a busy day today, but we have worked together really well as a team and the client to get that steel on and everything pretty much to help me crack on for the next day or so to finish this job off, to get it over to the finish line. Drew's not in tomorrow or Friday because he's off on holiday. We're both pretty much part-time now. Anyway, we'll catch you tomorrow morning. Thursday morning, and we are getting on the final bit of block work for the job before I dob the wall plate on. Now, I've got quite a lot of wall plate to put on in a little bit, so I need to do all of my overlap cuts, which are going to be 100mm by 100mm, so everything sits very nicely interlinked together to help the joiner secure everything down. But today, overall, there isn't too much to go at, lots cleaning up to do, a few bits of pointing to look at, get the wall plate on and the rest of these splits, and then we're going to start digging out the footing for the garden wall. We're pretty much on the last bit of block work for the entire job. Now, don't get me wrong, once the roof is on, I do need to come back and do the gable, but overall the job is about 95% done. Today I'm going to be putting on all these splits Drew cut for me yesterday. We'll be putting on the wall plate on this side and on that side over there, having a right good tidy up. Ugh, fucking hell. Having a right good tidy up, looking at a few bits of mispointing, and then we're going to be starting the garden wall. Perfect.
Cold coffee, my old boots are by the door. Nobody's calling, but I don't mind it anymore. 'Cause I've had enough of the rat race, the city life, the social grace. Burnt out on confidence, so tired of keeping score. Gonna find somewhere to slow it down, buy a little place way out of town. Gonna take my time, 'cause it's all mine. Trade my pride for a quiet life. Maybe then my time will come around, way out of town. Down in the hills off old Topanga Road, there's a place I go to ease a weary soul. I could hide away a tea, smoke my stuff, talk to the trees. Get myself a dog and
Now some wood
build
butcher
a heart of gold. Gonna find somewhere to slow it down. Buy a little place way out of town. Gonna take my time, 'cause it's all mine. Trade my pride for a quiet life. Maybe then my time will come around. Way out of town. Gonna find somewhere to slow it down. Buy a little place way out of town. Gonna take my time, 'cause it's all mine. Trade my pride for a quiet life. Maybe then my time will come around. Maybe then my time will come around. Way out of town.
Oh, dear me. So, finally got all of the wall plate cut, and now I'm going to start bedding everything on. Bloody hell. I've seen some bowed wall plate in my time. That is mental. Right, how can you level this?
When I was young, my daddy said, gotta keep one eye open in your bed. 'Cause there's a time coming when the devil gonna come
There we go. That is this job done.
Run now, loud, gotta run on. Keep on running till the sun goes down. Run now, loud, better run on. Run all day till you can't be found. Run now, loud, gotta run on. Keep on running till the sun goes down. You can outrun the devil, but you ain't gonna outrun me.
Right, that is pretty much where we are going to be leaving it for today, and that pretty much wraps up this entire extension, bar the little gable we need to wrap up. But overall it's been a brilliant build. Just worked out with the client. It's taken 24 working days to get to this stage. If you remember, we started, it was a bit of a, not a takeover, but we started on a block and beam floor, finished that, all the concrete in. Yeah, and half of those 24 days I've been working on my own, so not too bad. Anyway, I'll catch you tomorrow when we're on a different job. It's a garden wall, but it's on this job.